out there, Internet. It's me, Joe. I'm here to bring you another video. We've got a little bit of a new paint booth I've set up with a little 6x410. I'll just pan the camera around for a little bit. I have 2 box fans running a couple filters. So that's pulling the fumes away from me and right into the filters, keeping the room nice and clean. I've got a little bit of mess of wiring up on the top here. But I got my lights, got a couple of ring lights up there. And one over here. And then I got one right above us here. Right there. And that will hopefully improve the quality of these videos for you. So without further ado, what I've got in front of me here is 5 letters. These are the most common last name initials in the United States. And we've got Earth Jam coming up on April 22nd. So I want to have some samples ready for anyone who might be interested in custom ordering one of these. If you are in the New Hampshire Lakes region, I will be at Plymouth State for Earth Jam on April 22nd. Please come on by, see what I've got to offer, and maybe I'll have something you might want to pick up. So I'm going to start off with just placing some cups and lids and whatever else I happen to have here all over the place. So I'll probably have to do these kind of 2 at a time. Ooh, that might be interesting. Yeah, we'll do that. Put a little guy up here. These little plastic cheapy shot glasses can be real helpful for this sort of thing. So, and I've got a couple of these. These are salsa bowls I picked up for $1. I picked up 2 of them. So we'll do one over here. I'll move that up to this C. And then what I've got up here in the middle, this is a tray. It's just a cheap wooden tray. What I'm going to do with this is, I'm not going to finish this one in this video. This is going to be for a future video. I'm just going to put the planetary scape right up here. And then I'm going to use some acrylic or bar topper to pour on the top of this. I got a couple other little things. I got some little bit of green that I can mix in to the acrylic I pour. And this is a kind of an opal ink. So I figure if I swirl these around, it might create a cool effect on top of the paint. So we'll see how that comes out when I get to it. I'll put a bowl right there. Do I have any more bowls handy? Only the big ones. And well, you know what? Big one for the B. How's that? That'll work. And let me grab a couple spray paint can lids here. I got some across the room here. And we'll do another one of those up here. We'll give the B one more. There. These are technically kind of the same size. I might do something like this, just kind of balance it out a little bit. You see, the problem with these little guys, these are from the glitter paint cans. They have this little nub, so you kind of have to put it off, which does kind of give a cool effect. So I think I kind of like this placement. I think I'll do one more right here. There. So I'm just going to grab. We'll use this. This is a light blue. Oh man, this one hasn't been used in a little bit. I guess it is not wanting to cooperate, but we'll get it there. Nah, we'll use a different one because that one's a low pressure can and it's being a pain. All right, so let's go ahead with we'll use yellow for this. There we go. There we go. Just to give us an outline on where we're putting stuff, just like we normally do when we start these videos. This is definitely the most I've ever done at one time. So hopefully this all works out. So put that like that and put these 3 there for the first one. These 2 can go in the bowl for the second one. Actually, no, we'll use the plate. The plate will help. The bowl for this one. Grab that. Try not to kick the camera around on you guys too much here today. And then, just like that. Cool. Might have to keep the tray for myself or get one just to do this sort of thing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, start with our first color. I think my first color I'm going to go with is just your kind of nice blue color right here. I'm going to give it a quick shake. All right, and we're just going to blue on this one. We'll go blue on this little guy right here. We'll go blue on this bigger one. We'll go blue on the big one here. And when you're spraying, you don't want to spray too close because you'll get some puddling, and you don't want that when you're trying to do something like this. And we'll do blue right up on this one. All right. So with these blue ones, I think we're going to go kind of a planet theme. So doing that, we're going to go in with the darker blue, kind of get some contrast. So not a planet theme today, kind of an Earth theme. Go blue, blue. Do some dark blue here. Do a little more up here. And 100% coverage isn't that important when you're doing it like this. And then we're going to go on top of that with this white if it wants to cooperate. Let's see. All right, so I'm just going to white. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go in with our newspaper. We're just going to remove some of that paint. We're actually going to hit this with white twice. Just smooth that out right there, just to kind of model it a little bit. We're going to rumple it up. We're going to do the same thing right here. Just a couple dabs. Toss that, grab a fresh piece. And these are just free newspapers. They send us in the mail. Like, we don't have to pick them up. They're all sent to us already. Do this a quick dab there. Pull that up. Go over here with this one. Give it a quick couple more dabs. There. And then one more sheet we'll do for this other one. And then we're going to go in with some green and a little more white on top of that. A little bit. So the blue is popping right through, which is what I was looking for. So we're going to go in there with our green now. Just green, green. And some green. And then right back there with that white. And back in with the paper. We're getting somewhere with that. Grab a fresh one for the next one. That's pretty cool. All right. And we'll go in here. Ooh, yeah, just a couple little bits there. I'll hit this one up on the top left, and then I'll do the one on the right over there. Quick little bits there. And one last sheet ought to do it for this one on the right. Just a couple little more bits of dabbing it up to make sure it's good to go. All right. So what I'm going to do on top of these is I've got that low pressure can I was just complaining about. We're just going to give it a quick hit with these. Let me just give that a couple smacks on the ground here. There we go. Just a kind of a haze almost that we're going for. Just like that. It gives us a couple little blue dots. I actually kind of like the way that's coming out. Okay, so for these other planets, we got one here. Let's go with, we're going to go with some purple next. Now, obviously not all these are going to get purple. We'll go purple here. We'll go purple on this big one. Go purple over here. And yeah, that'll be good for the purple. And then on top of the purple, we're going to go with this kind of nice sea glass looking color here. A little sea glass here. A little sea glass up here. We're actually going to do one that's just the sea glass there and one here too. Okay. So again, with our newspaper, we're just going to crinkle that up. And give it a quick swipe. Just to kind of get some texture on that. This one, we're going to go do the same thing. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Just like that. This one I think was just black on the background, or did I do purple here? Nah, just black, but that's okay. We're going to go up here. I'm just going to kind of texture this one a little different. And I'm just using the same one. It's kind of melding the colors a little bit, as you can see. And kind of giving us this cool effect. And that one has not been touched yet. And then on top of this one, I think I'm just going to do this real gnarly neon color. Neon that one. Instead of dabbing or anything like that, I'm just going to grab a bit of paper. And we're just going to give it a swipe across. Yeah, you can see that. Just a quick swipe. Do another swipe to get it to remove some of that paint. And there we go. That ought to do it. And just for good measure, we'll just go like that. Yeah, once we cover that up with a bowl, it should look kind of nice. All right, so I've got a couple more planets to work on. I got one there, there, and there. So we're going to go ahead in with our red. We're just going to hit this one with some red, right like that. Got a little close here. I don't know if you can see that, but it ended up puddling up a little bit. So that's what happens if you get a little too close. It'll puddle. It's not a big deal because we're going to remove some of it with some newspaper anyway. We're going to hit this one with red too. And then on top of that red, we're going to go with some nice hot pink here. So pink that, pink that. Yeah, so the red did puddle up on both of these a little bit, but that is a-okay. Actually, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to grab some sponge. Just move some stuff around because we were doing some changes in here with the new booth. So let me see if I can remember where I put my sponges. No, I got some. Scare the shit out of me. Just scared the crap out of my wife. She was in the laundry room. So I've got one of these that is a sponge from when I was trying to do some Christmas cards, but I'm not going to be using it again. We're going to go ahead and just dab our texture right into that with this sponge. What that is also allowing us to do is bring some of that black through the background there. We're just going to do the same thing over here. Just like that. I like that texture. It looks nice. So we still have to do something with this, and we have one more planet over here. So with this green... No, we're not going to do the green. Decisions, right? So over here, we're going to go with just some black, I think. I've got this kind of charcoal gray. This guy right here. I'm going to hit this one here. Oops. So these are acrylic paint, so keep that in mind if you get some. You do have to spray ahead of time before you start spraying because it can affect what you're working on. So this side is dry. I'm going to go ahead and give it a couple dabs here. And kind of bring that sea glass color back through. And then on top of that, I'm going to go ahead with our white again. And a little strip of paper. I'm going to rip one in half. No reason to use a whole sheet on that. And like this. We're going to go ahead just like that to get our cloud cover. Perfect. I like it. We got one more planet to work on here. I think we're going to go with maybe yellow because I haven't actually done a yellow one here. We'll go yellow here, just like that. And then I'm going to go back in with this orange. And come on, give me some color here. I'm just going to spray a little bit on the edge of my table over here. I don't know if you can see. You can see a little bit. We'll pan over a little bit so you can see it. Taking a little piece of that sponge, rip another little piece off. These are just cheap dish sponges. I'm just going to gather some of the paint that I've kind of collected over here. Kind of give us this mucky looking color. I like it. We're going to use that right up here. It's also removing some of that yellow, adding some of these other colors that we have in the back. Kind of give us almost like a Venus sort of feel to it, like kind of a Venus color. So the orange color I have is a low pressure can. So what I'm going to do after I do this is I'm going to go over this with that orange color. Just like that. So that's good. I'm going here with orange. Just kind of highlight it a little bit. There we go. All right. So last couple things I have to do is I'm going to sponge on a couple more little cloud layers on these. And I have these little paint palettes I picked up from the dollar store. We're going to put that right there. I'm going to put some white paint in it. So that way I'm not spraying everywhere. Just like this. I'm grabbing a little piece of sponge. Like this. And just a couple little dabs there. We'll kind of level those out with that, just to give us a couple little more clouds. And see, that's giving us a nice little cloud cover on the Earth-looking sort of planets here. Let me remove some with the opposite side of this dryer, just to get a little bit more cloud cover. Just like that. I'm liking that. I'm liking the way that's starting to look. Another one up here. So I've run out a little bit of paint on this sponge, which is okay, because what it's doing is I'm not having to remove any now. There. And then we're going to do a little bit more up here. Dab a little bit on there. And just like that, we're ready to do the next step, which is adding our shadow. So let's recenter the camera here. And we'll grab our store brand cheap black paint. Give it a good spray. So on this one, I'm going to do my shadow right here. The reason I really like using the spray paint from the store, the cheap stuff, it's almost transparent when it's light. Right? It gives us kind of this nice shadow. We'll do another one here for this guy. We'll do another shadow off this side. We'll kind of do a different side on this side. We'll do another one right here. And this one, start there, go in there, start there, in there, just like this. Do another shadow, follow the V a little bit. Then we're going to go just like this. I'll do a shadow here. Oh, sorry about that. And another one right in here. This is the point of where we kind of did our swiping. And then we're going to do one right up here. Okay, so what I've got to do now is let these dry. And once they're dry, we'll come back in with the next step. This one, we'll save this until the next episode. So, I'll be back with you in just a moment. Okay, I've let everything dry here. I did have to add a little bit of black on these because I forgot to, but that should not affect anything. So I'm going to start at the back here, putting these lids back in place. I'm going to put one right there, one right here. And we're going to go over to the opposite side. Look at these ones in the back covered up first. That one's going here. And I'm going to put one right here. Just like that. Actually, that. There we go. That should. Actually, going to give this a little bit more black here. Actually, no, well, hold on. Trying to dodge around my tripod here. Do this just a little more shadow right in there, just in case we need it. That bowl right here, like so. Then we're going to go this one on the right. We're just covering them all back up here. I'll use this one here. Use this guy up here. This one here. Yeah. Then this one was over here. Oh, I changed the order of them, I guess. That's fine, though. Right there and right there. This one, you just have to make sure that that is off the edge. Put it on there. Open right here. Then we use the big bowl right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do in here now is I'm just going to go in here with that charcoal black that we were using a little earlier. It's a pretty good kind of charcoal-y sort of thing that'll cover everything up real nice here. Nothing too fancy, just to get the color and overspray taken care of. I'm actually going to get this tray out of the way so I don't get too much overspray on it. Just like so here. Just like that. Get them all covered up, and then we'll go on to our next step, which is adding, modeling the sky, adding some space gases. Then we'll add our stars. Probably do that in a couple phases. Put the stars here. Something that's going to be really cool about these bowls here, these salsa bowls I picked up, is it's going to allow us to have a little bit of an atmosphere showing on some planets, because they're kind of thick on the edges. So I think that's going to be kind of a nice look. Now, the problem is I don't remember where the settings for my shine is going to be on some of these, so they're not all going to get shine. So, let's model that out there, making sure there's no color showing on those anymore. Okay, so we're going to go in with our other colors here to kind of model these guys out. So I'm going to go back in there with that navy sort of blue. I'm just going to kind of cover in some things. We're not doing full coverage. It's just modeling the skies out a little bit. That's all I'm doing. Nothing too fancy. Just doing that. There we go. Covering up any spots that might have missed. All right, I'm going to go in here with our hot pink. We're just going to make sure. Get some space gases in here, like so. And we can darken these up too with our darker colors. That'll be good for that. We're gonna go in here with our yellow, I think. We didn't use that a heck of a lot except in this one right here, but we'll use that there. Come across, just come across like that. We're gonna use some of our sea glass color. And come across the other way. We'll go over here like that. I'm also going to use some of this neon green. And it came off out of the side. You got to watch out because this stuff does cake up a little bit on the nozzles. Just keep that in mind while you're doing stuff. Okay. So I'm going to use this white here as our stars, our primary stars here. I'm just going to spray from a distance just to get our stars. Try not to get it on my phone too bad. I'm spraying from a couple feet away as I do this to get some big old globs to fly across to our stuff here. So now I'm going to put some right onto my glove, drip a little bit off of it, and then I'm just going to give it a couple flicks just to get a little bit of coverage in here. Just like that. And a little bit more over in this area. Just like that. So what I do when I have my hands covered in paint like this, I'll just take either a used piece or I'll just grab a little tiny piece of paper just to get some of that excess off so my glove's usable again. Otherwise, it's going to stick to everything I touch. All right, so we're going to go in here with our inexpensive white. We're going to put some shine on some of these planets. I'm going to put shine around some of them, like all the way around. So this one, I think we'll do right here. We'll do this one right here. Right here. I'm just going to go all the way around that one. We'll give that one right there. I'm going to give this one a whole little ring as well. And we'll do the same thing with this one here. And the big one, I want to give that a ring of white. I'll do the same thing over here. The last thing I'm going to do is I've got one of the things I like to use most, and that is my glitter paint. It adds a little bit of an extra element of color, and I really like the way it comes out. Brings things together pretty nicely. Just get a nice layer in there. It might not be that noticeable on camera, but when it's sitting in your living room or in your office or wherever you end up putting it, it does make a difference. So I'm a big fan of using that stuff. We're going to go in just on top of that, just a couple more little globs of the white, like this. Just like that. Do a little bit more over there on the far top paint. Okay, so that is that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start removing these cups. I'm just going to put them right back in the middle here. Just the reveals here. That one came out pretty nice. I like the way that came out. I'm actually going to add a layer of red too. Something. Red's speaking to me right now. Just like that, and we'll do a red streak right there. Perfect. Just kind of add a little bit. Give this one just a little bit of streak right there. Cool. I think that adds just a little bit more for it to pop with. Grab that one, put it there. Perfect. We'll start removing these like so. The problem with using these little guys is they're short, right? So I'd recommend if you use a little cap like this, put a piece of tape over it to give yourself like kind of a little handle. So it was very close to touching the painting while I was doing that. Keep pulling these off. And at the end here, I'll put them all together, maybe on a white background or something so they're easier to see. So that way you can see what these all came out like. And there we go, guys. That's all of them. I'll pick up a couple here so you can see them a little bit better. We'll go with, actually, this bee. Ooh, sorry about that. This bee, I'm really happy with the way this one came out. See if I can get it without messing it up at all. So there is the bee with the planet, the way it came out. So like if you have this on a flat back wall, right, nothing in the background, it's going to really pop. So really hope you guys enjoyed this one. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to start filming my next episode. It's actually not going to be that tray. Let me grab one of these. So I picked up these dollar store picture frames, and I'm going to make 10 to 15 of these. Again, for Earth Jam, make it so they're something that's pretty affordable. Probably selling these between 15 and 20 bucks a pop. So hopefully you guys can come and check us out at Earth Jam. I'll talk about it a little bit more in the next video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. And as always, be kind to yourself, and we'll see you later.